Koyach and Yitzchak for a very nice introduction. I appreciate it. Now I know why all the Meisters are saying they're making so much money lately. Obviously, you're the one behind it. You're the one who's going with it. Koyach. Keep up the Shlal Lishma, Bo Lishma. What am I doing here? You're outside Rabbi Noach. We spent years together at the Yeshiva near Israel in Baltimore. Of course, he was an older Baruch, I was a younger Baruch. And then, when we started Yeshiva in Toronto near Israel, we learned B'chavrusa. So I got to know Rabbi Noach pretty well. And I wanted to try to touch up the kuda of what he was, maybe what he is, maybe I should say. Knowing him and know what he was involved with. It's not easy, such a Adam Choshev Ma'oid Gadol, but the way I understood him and saw the way he lived, Shabbos Shira we're holding back. What is Shira? Whole Torah is Kaddish, and in certain places, Shira, the most famous one, Shira's Hayam. What is the Indian of Shira? The Maharal says, Shira, big insight. Shira is the expression of the neshama. The words of Shira are different than the words of the whole Torah because the words coming from the neshama. Now we say every Shabbos Yom Nishmas Kol Chag Tvarach Shimcha. Neshama is talking bracha. Shira is a higher madrega than the bracha of the neshama. Shira means that the neshama is connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a very strong way. How do we connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How will we connect? In Olam Haba, we connect with the neshama. That's the highest point of our Metzias, our neshama. And there's certain times that Klal Yisrael came to a very strong connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then the neshama not only the Mavarech, the neshama came to Mazav of Shira, such as strong connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the neshama. That's why the words are different of a Shira. It's pretty hard to understand. And that is the Spashtus Agashmias. What separates us from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Our Gashmias. If it wouldn't be for our Gashmias, with the Har Sinai, Porach and Nishmasam, that the Gashmias became bottled altogether, became unimportant, and the Neshamas left them. Misas Neshika. What's Neshika? Misas Neshika means a person's Neshama connects with HaKadosh Baruch Hu without any interruption, without any mechitzas to stop it. That's Shira. Person connecting, having this great, this pashtus agashmius, taking away that which holds us back from the connecting and makes it possible to make this great connection. That's Shira. We say in the davening, Emes v'yatzav emes v'amuna. We say four descriptions of our connection to Hashem. There are 4 connections in this world, how people connect. There's Avdus, an Eved to a Melech. There's Yedidus, people connecting to friends. There's connecting between parents and children. And connection between a man and a wife. And we see from the davening all four of those connections that only were able to be after Kriyas Yamsuf. Tzis Mitzrayim was not enough to cause those connections to be. Malchus, Brotzen, Kibbul Alayim, Malchus, Brotzen, Avdus, Hamaver Bonov, Ben Gizmo Yamsuf, Bonim, Alza Shibcha, Ahuvim, Ish Ve'ishtoi, Nasl Yedidim, Zemir Ashuras V'Tzishbachais, Yedidus. These four connections that we know in this world, which Hashem gives us to realize such close relationships between people, to give us a mashal how HaKadosh Baruch Hu connects to us. If we wouldn't have that in this world, we wouldn't understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling me, you're my bonim. What is your bonim? Hashem Elokeichem. What's a ben? He gives us a mashal gashim mistik of ben. Ish le'ishtoi, avas ish le'ishtoi, yedidim, avdus, in order for us to understand his connection to us. And all those were accomplished by Kriyas Yamsuf, because Kol Zman, the Mitzrayim were still alive, the Jews couldn't feel that freedom and to have that connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They were always afraid of their masters. Maybe they'll get back again, maybe they'll get back to Mitzrayim. Once they were eliminated, they were able to feel this fantastic connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Avdei Hashem, Ahuvim, Yedidim, Bonim, all of them together, all those relationships, because they were Zeicha, Rosh Shilcha Alayom, they were Zeicha to Pashtas HaGashmias. The Gashmias became bottled. That disappeared. And therefore then the Shama was able to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all these four different relationships, Bonim, Avdus, Ishus, and Yedidus. That's the great relationship that the Yid was Zeicha, the Rosh Shilcha Alayom, that the Yid was Zeicha to, by Kriyas Yamsuf. And therefore, they're able to say Shira. Therefore, since the Gashmias became bottled, since Mitzrayim was out of their life, and since HaKadosh Baruch Hu connected to them with all these great relationships, they became so close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the Neshama connected without any mechitzas holding them back, no interruptions. They're able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and be able to Zeicha to Shira. That's what Maral is saying. What is Shira? The Neshama expressing its feeling, its negation, its connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's Shira. That's what they were Zeicha to. Rabbi Noach, in my opinion, was that type of person. He was a person that he wasn't in this world for himself. It was for everybody else. Wherever he could have a mashpia, wherever he could smile to, tap on the shoulder, bring it to Yiddishkeit, do what he could. He himself was bottled. He himself was command the lesson. He was not interested in himself. He had no zich. It was everything yenim, all for everybody else, not for himself. And he, that great connection, person who has no zich, he's in it for other people. He wants to see them steig. He wants to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu have nachas ruach from Klal Yisrael. He is in that bechina of Shira. His whole life is bechina of Shira. He was from Mala, from Shichma Lamala, from other people, because his whole life was for Yenim. Avram Avinu, they ask you kasha. How can Avram Avinu be zeicha to Nevuah? Nevuah is necessary through his baidadus, like the Rambam says, the Meforshim say. You have to go by yourself, and be misbaidad by HaKadosh Baruch Hu with nobody around, and the Nevi'im, that's what they used to do. Misbaidadus, and Avram Avinu had no time for misbaidadus. He was out there being makar of people. He was always sitting in front of his tent, bringing people in. How can he say the Nevuah? Nevuah is his kashmir to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His kashmir comes from his baidadus. The answer is Avram Avinu, without his baidadus, there was no tzich. He was there only for other people. He had no interest in himself. The only interest in the Avodas Hashem, making the nachas ruach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How to make the nachas ruach? By makar of people, tachas kanfei hashchina. Therefore, he was zeicha the Nevuah without his baidadus, because his baidadus means he comes to his batlus. So his battle person, the way he negates himself, he doesn't feel for himself, doesn't care about himself, only he cares about Kavod Hashem, for honor of Hashem, that's a person who can connect to Hashem. This is one way of doing it, but another way of doing it is by showing that I'm in this world only for Kavod Shemayim, for the honor of Hashem, to carve people, bring people to the comfort of Shechina, bring it under the wings of Hashem. That's how there's a to Nevuah. What is Nevuah? Like the Torah Hashem says, connecting to Hashem, that's Nevuah. It's connecting. Prophecy is connecting to Hashem. Some people got through this Baidadus. Avram Avinu got it through not as Baidadus. Adarabah. On the contrary, he's with people all the time. He was not by himself. But since he was in it for Hashem, not for himself, he had told this Batlas, he meant nothing. The only thing important to him was Kavod Shemayim. He was to this Nevuah, which is connected to Hashem. And I would say about Rabbi Noach, that was his personality. That's why how I see him as such a great person, that he was in this world for everybody else, for Kavod Shemayim. And that's why he reserved to be what he was, such heights of goodness that he came to. That's how I would describe him. So we here in the tzchus for his neshama, and the greatest tzchus for his neshama naturally is, how do we give a tzchus to a neshama? By emulating that person, by carrying on and learning from him, even though he's not in the world anymore, but he really is, if we learn from his actions and from the way he conducted himself, from his sheifas, what his purpose in his life was, if we learn from that and we practice through the motivation of what we learn from him, that is the biggest aliyah, elevation that's in the Shema. So, according to my words, I understand them, the best way for us to do so would be everybody that's here should take upon themselves to talk to other people, get them to learn Torah, get them to study once a week, learn with them, twice a week, whenever. Get people to be motivated in the way of Hashem, not just to worry about ourselves, but worry about Kavod Shemayim, honor of Hashem. Imagine if everybody sitting here would become one person a year to bring close to Yiddishkeit. Learn Torah with them, one person a year. Well, we hope to live for many years. Let's say a person who's 70 will live for 50 more years. There'll be 50 people in Mekara. So everybody here, we have thousands of people every year in Mekara, one person. How many Yidden will be close to Yiddishkeit? Let's just not walk away from here with a great gathering. We're motivated, we learn, but we don't do something lemaisa, something in actual life that we can take upon ourselves and emulate it. His whole life was the carve Yid, bring Yid close to Yiddishkeit. How many people are sitting here that were touched by, the neshama was touched by him? So if we want to give his neshama an aliyah, let's take upon ourselves. We meet people in our family, people, our neighbors, our business associates, friends, meet people in chasanas, wherever it is, we meet people all the time that don't have connection to studying Torah, to Yiddishkeit. If we just talk to them, we will not be ashamed. Rabbi Noach was never ashamed. He came with this big smile. He was able to talk to anybody. He wasn't ashamed. That was his koyach. And people loved him for it. Nobody had anything against him for it. We should take a learning from his actions. If we see somebody who's not connected, let's go over and try to connect them in one way or another. That will be the biggest chus for his neshama. So let's see what we can do for his sake. And he's zichur baruch. Everybody should be gesund and stark and have this great learning from Rabbi Noach, and his neshama will have big aliyah. Thank you very much.